just buying sparkling water. Manaya, what is Manaya? It's like, change this video and turn it into a sermon. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Dr.Melo. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, like, and drop a comment. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to the family of Buzz. Just in case you don't know me, I am a final year medical student at Saratov State Medical University in Russia. So guys, as the title of the video already stipulates, we're going to talk about some of the struggles I've had in Russia since 2017, and this is 2024. Yes, graduation year, so now it's time to reminisce. Let's talk about some of those struggles that I really faced being in Russia. Okay, so the first one for me, like top, like this is like number one for me, was the language barrier. I feel like this is something that everybody faces, whether you're going to study in China, whether you're studying in Russia, it doesn't matter. Like the language barrier is like one of those things that you're like, you know, because everything here in Russia is written in Russian except a few places, and that's only of recent. But by the time I was coming in 2017, everything was written in Russian, including the word bank, including the word stop. You know, like everything was written in Russian. The only thing that people could speak was Russian. If you try to speak English, even when you're just speaking amongst yourselves, like friends, like even if you're just as friends and you're speaking amongst yourselves, and then the Russians hear you speak English, they're like, why are you speaking English? Why can't you speak Russian? You know, so the language barrier was like one of those things. Because I remember, this is not my story, but I remember someone went to the store, right? Went to the store and the person wanted to buy water. Of course, you know how water is colorless. So like we always forget that there's sparkling water and there's still water. So this person now ended up just buying sparkling water, and when they got to the hostel, they realized they actually bought sparkling water. And for me, I was like, okay. The only reason why I didn't make that mistake was because when I came to Russia, we had this very good friend of ours, a very good brother of ours from Congo, who actually helped us a lot, like really helped us a lot. Like for us, when we came, like we had him, it's like he was on our back or we were on his back. Like he really helped us get around things, know a few things, one or two things and whatnot. So that's why I never made that mistake. But a lot of people did, because sometimes it's very stressful when you don't want to feel like you're being a burden to somebody. Like every time you need something, you need to call this person. Every time ABCD, you need to ABCD. Yeah, so yeah, the language barrier is like number one. Like like everything is written in Russian, food is written in Russian. Like guys, because I remember this one is my story. When I went to KFC with some friends of mine, actually with my best friend, yes, when we went to KFC and we wanted, I think it was a bucket of wings or something like that. And then we didn't know what wings were in Russian. And for some reason, I don't know why we did not use Google Translate. Coming to think about it, I have no idea why we did not use Google Translator. But the point is, we went there and when we wanted something, we're like, damn, eta, because literally that's the only thing we knew. We only knew how to say things like privyet, which means hello, this meaning eta, like eta meaning this. Look at me. Yeah, it's like eta, and then somebody will literally get a ruler and start pointing. You want this? You want this? We want this? No, this, and it was so hilarious. Like you can imagine, and you imagine like there will be so many people in the store. And then we're just there looking, and yeah, basically that was my number one. So my next one, number two, was getting adjusted to the food. So I'm going to say that, you know, that actually made me miss home a lot, because home food, there's no place like home. The food at home is so tasty. Like, yeah. At that time, when we came, chicken was like kapenta, small fish, you know. Chicken was like kapenta. It was kind of like the cheapest. So even if you buy the chicken, it won't taste like the way it should be tasting. You know, if you're used to eating mommy's food, you're used to eating your own food from home that you have prepared. The point is the chicken, like the food, right? Like for me, it was just like a no-no. and it was something that I really had to adjust to. Mind you, this place doesn't have maize meal, so we would buy, it's called what, manaya, like manaya. What is manaya? It's like corn flour. Yes, no, that's something else. Not corn flour. It's like, okay, it's like milli meal, right? But it's not milli meal. Like, it's not the actual milli meal, such that even when you're cooking it, it cooks really fast. Like within like 10 minutes like that, you are done cooking your manaya. Like, you're done cooking your manka. For some places it's written manaya, and for some places it's written manka. But then in those instances when we just arrived, like for me it was like, yeah, it was too soft, like whereby it's even remaining on your fingers like this. Like, it was too soft. And that's a funny thing, you would keep adding, and the shima won't get hard. Like, if you just like shima like me, guys, that was very emotional for me because me, I like shima, but when I came here, it was like the shima wasn't just giving what it was supposed to be giving. It was too soft. So yeah, there's the shima aspect, the meat aspect, the beef. Beef is so expensive here. Beef is very expensive. Like, you can literally buy beef, like a small piece, like just a small, like 1 kg is like you have to spend a lot of money. When it comes to vegetables and fruits, let me start from the vegetables. There aren't a lot of vegetables here. So you find that when it comes to the greens that we all need because of iron, when it comes to the greens, you have things like broccoli. And then now for the other vegetables, like for the other things that you would want to use to kind of like increase your iron, you have to compensate like with chicken breast, eggs, all those other things that actually contain iron. But when it comes to vegetables, and me personally, I don't even like broccoli. I don't like broccoli. They have a lot of cabbage, a lot of the spinach. If it's spinach is like, it's there, but it's baby spinach. It's not those big ones that we know from home. Spinach is there, but it's small, like it's baby spinach, and it's also expensive. But we buy because what are we gonna do with our vegetables? Yeah, so that's another struggle I literally had when it came to vegetables. Fruits, yeah, Melissa, the fruits are not sweet. They are down. I don't know how to explain this word, but they are for fundikaling. Like, I don't know how to even explain that word. They are for fundikaling. Like, they are for I'm thinking. Okay, they are fruits whereby you take them when they are not ripe, and you just leave them maybe in a house or in a dark place for them to ripen. So their fruits are not as fresh and sweet as the ones from home. So if you're a fruit girly and you like your fruit smoothies and whatnot, well, you just have to come and adjust to the life here. But it's not as bad as maybe the way I'm making it seem. It's not. It's actually okay. But since you're already used to eating certain kinds of food from home, you just be like, yeah, like that will obviously be your first impression, but you already be here and you will adjust to eating that kind of food. At the end of the day, the only thing I can tell you or let you guys know is that you have to adjust to a lot of things. You have to adjust. So that was literally my other struggle. The other one was the weather. I don't even know why this one was not even number one, but no, nothing beats language barrier, because if you can't understand each other, then you can't get anywhere. The weather. Of course, right now, I'm not going to tell you that my city is very cold. It's not cold, actually. It's not one of the coldest cities in Russia. It's actually one of the warm ones, I'm trying to say. Like, because we are located more on the southern part. But coming from a country that has 26, 25, 27 degrees, and you get to a country that has got -1, that is just like the tip of the iceberg. Like, it's like you literally live in a fridge. So you're coming to a country that has got -20, -23, -25. At some point it was even -28. Like, it's really cold here, and on those days sometimes you even feel like crying because you've got morning lectures like from 8 a.m. until a certain time. And especially from first to third year, we had classes like throughout the whole day. So you find that you have class from morning until maybe 19, so all those things like were really rough. Like for me, I just felt like at that point I even wanted to cry mommy. I'm not gonna cry mommy now, but it was time to grow up. But one day, like the struggle was real. Like it was very, very cold. But please don't get it twisted. Inside the rooms, there are things like that. I think you can see that thing behind me. That thing behind me is actually a heater. So the rooms are heated. So there is central heating, like for the whole country or for the whole city, rather than just talk about my city. Like there's central heating. So inside the rooms, it's always warm. Like it's always warm. You're not going to feel the minus 28 in your room. No, it's always warm. It's just the issue of you going to class and you have to get out. So it means you have to put on a lot of clothes, layers and layers of clothes. Especially when I just came, I would put on like 3 or 4 layers of clothes and then I would go to school. But now I just put on my, my little turtleneck, a jacket, some boots, some socks, and I'm out of this place. But that's the thing. So that's only because I actually adjusted to being here. Being here for 7 years is not a joke. So yeah, the weather was one of them. And I will talk about my school as being a challenge for me, because when I came, I was studying in Russian first, and I later on switched to studying in English. If you have the opportunity to study in English, switch to English. But if you don't, it doesn't mean you can't study in Russian. I just feel like everybody has got a different way of assimilating information or different ways of understanding things fast. For me, for example, I'm not going to tell you that I'm somebody who's very like snappy. I like to digest my information so that even if somebody asks me a question from a different angle or from a different perspective, I should be able to analyze to say, okay, this person is actually talking about this and this is the answer this person actually wants me to give, or this is the way the answer is supposed to be. Now, the issue with studying in Russian for me was that I had to read in Russian, and I also have to understand. Mind you, this is first year. I had to read in Russian, I had to understand, and then I'm just there like, I don't understand what I'm doing. Okay, fine, let me translate. Now, you translating, after you translate, you still now want to understand what you're reading. And then, after you understand what you're reading, now you have to translate to give your answers. Because when you go to class like the next day, right? If you had a class like, maybe I'll give you an example of anatomy. If you had a class in anatomy and maybe you were discussing blood vessels, you're talking about nerves or whatnot, muscle groups and stuff like that. When you go to class the next day, the teacher will ask you about what you were discussing the previous day. So if in class while the teacher was speaking to you in Russian, you do not understand, it means you have to go back home and revise what was being discussed. And when you go the next day, you have to actually discuss what was being discussed yesterday. So if you didn't read, my dear, they will give you a 2. You will get your 2 dvoika. 2. Yes, so that's another thing. So the whole learning system also was very different for me. So it was a little bit complex and very, very, like, personally for me, it was like a whole different thing. Like I had never seen it. You know how in Zambia, when you have your exam, your questions can come from anywhere and everywhere, and you have a bunch of questions. But here, 70% of what you do, like 70% of the exam, comes from you attending classes and your lectures. So if you don't attend your classes and you don't attend your lectures, believe me, in the exam you only have 30%. So if you don't do what you have to do during the course of the semester, you can't like make up for it during the exam. Like you will literally flop with flying colors. So basically that's something that they try to put out there. So as you are in class, you have to make sure that you're getting good grades, so that by the time you're having your exam, they'll add the total out of 70. If you have your 65, if you have your I've heard of people having 70, but rarely. If you have your 50, if you have your 60, in the exam you have your 30. If you manage to answer all the questions in the exam, then you have a total mark. And the pass mark would usually be 60. Yeah, I remember. And for you to get a 60, that's like you getting a satisfactory, which is like, yes. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but like you should always aim to get higher. But sometimes, let me just say this thing, sometimes things are easier said than done. So yeah, so the education system was also very different for me, and I struggled a lot in that area. I really struggled for the first 2 years of being in Russia. I struggled a lot in the education system, and hence I moved to English medium, where I was able now to speak English and read my books in English, and just have to read once and not reading twice or 3 times or 4 times before I could actually answer. Now we had to read in English. We're here. So I'm not saying that studying in Russian is not possible. It's very much possible. You just have to be sharp. You have to be fast. You have to learn the language really quick, because even when you're going to the exam you have to speak in Russian, and if you're in English medium, you speak in English. So yes, and that's another thing. Another issue I think I also struggled with when I first came to Russia was my Christian life. Like, I'm a Christian. Hallelujah. I'm a Christian. Yes, my Christian life really struggled a little bit, because, you know, coming from a home where every Sunday like every Sunday you're just being dragged to go to church. Like every Sunday your dad just has to tell you, like, okay, Lweendo, today we're going to church. I have to be at church at 9. You even know that per Sunday, like on Sunday, I have to definitely go to church. Like, we already know it's like a routine. By then being like, of course, I'm not gonna say I was a child or something like that, but I just feel like by then not understanding the importance, like not really fully understanding the importance of having like kind of like a personal relationship with God, was a struggle for me. Because when I came here, you know, it's that thing for whereby me, I'm going to be going to the same church that I go to at home, and I came here and New Apostolic was nowhere to be seen. So now we only have SDA Catholic and the international church. At that time it was called the international church for international students. Yes, please, why was I trying? Please. But now it's changed. It's now Transformation International Saratov. Yes, at least those ones I can give them free publicity, because they have helped me grow. Yes. So yeah, so having that thing of me, I'm just going to be going to my church. I didn't find my church. So I just decided, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to be here. I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to be comfortable, because all these other churches don't have my teachings, my doctrines. I'll just be initiated, ABCD. I never read the Bible. I never did anything. Never went to church. Sunday was the day to sleep or wash your clothes. I never did any of that, like, for me, until third year, second semester, I think. I was like, okay, fine. You know what? It's time. Like, it's now just time. And luckily enough, I had somebody who was really close to me. Like, well, we were in the same room, literally. I had my roommate who would like always like invite me to church, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, oh, you know, you like this girl, please, you know, like, yeah. So basically, at least I did find my way, definitely. I'm not gonna say I'm a perfect stoned Christian. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm also trying to encourage someone that even as you come to a foreign land, even as you go to your China, to your Turkey, or it doesn't matter where you're going, always strive to have a personal relationship with Christ. It's very, very important, because I'm not gonna tell you that I've made it the whole 7 years alone. I know that I've made it the whole 7 years through the prayers from my parents and my own prayers, and the prayers of everybody within Saratov, within Russia. Because even as you are praying, it's not like every time me, God, me. Like, you should also be a Christian who also prays for other people. So I've made it through Russia, through the prayers of other people, and through my own prayers as well. So yeah, well, let's not change this video and turn it into a sermon, but that's just it, guys. That's just it. Okay, now those struggles are me. All those struggles are before sanctions. Now let's get into the struggles of after sanctions, because I think most people are very much aware Russia has got sanctions right now. So right now, the struggle is now like, it's a lot. It has nothing to do with language and stuff like that, because now I can speak Russian, and of course all those struggles were now already used to them. We're already used to the weather. Now we're used to food wise, we're used to the language, and yes, so now we have new struggles for after sanctions, after the whole scandal. Yes, so the current struggles that we have at the moment includes some. Guys, this one even makes me cry sometimes, like how we can't order certain things from places that we want to order stuff from. So because of all these sanctions and whatnot, certain things no longer ship to Russia. Like I can't access Pretty Little Things, I can't access Shane, I can't access a lot of things like being in Russia. And because of the sanctions as well, certain things are no longer imported into Russia, which is now becoming kind of like a very big struggle for us, especially as international students, because sometimes, especially, okay, now for example, me graduation now, where am I supposed to get my clothes if I don't like the clothes that are within the place? Or rather, maybe the clothes that are within the place, like everybody has the clothes that are within the place, because I mean it's graduation, everybody wants to look unique, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm trying to say, that we can't order stuff from certain places. I can't order stuff from Amazon, I can't order stuff from Pretty Little Things. There's another site like that I used to use to order shoes from. Now I don't even remember the sites because we haven't used them like in the longest time. Yeah, so there's that, you know, like we can't access any of those things. We also are living in a VPN era. If you understand what I mean by VPN era, I mean that even, for example, even if I'm searching for something, I want to use my ChatGPT, I want to use Medscape, I want to use Mayo Clinic, things like that, I have to have my VPN on. Like it's a VPN era for me. And for me personally, it's not even just about the sites and stuff like that. I just feel like sometimes when you're using the VPN, it's irritating, because now if you're using your VPN and you forget to turn it off, you can't use certain Russian apps because your VPN is on. Like they won't allow you to use them because your VPN is on. So there's that. So it's like the VPN era. If you want to use TikTok, TikTok doesn't even work with the VPN unless you're using it online. The app itself doesn't work with the VPN unless you're using it like online, like on Safari there or on Chrome, and your VPN is on. Then you can access other people's videos. You know, yeah, so TikTok doesn't work, Netflix doesn't work, F-Movies doesn't work, Tiny Zone doesn't work, what doesn't work? A lot of all these movie sites don't work minus the VPN. And believe me, sometimes even when you're using the VPN, the sites are going to trip. Like they'll just stop loading after some time. Like after maybe you've watched, you know, if I binge watch a series like me, after you've already watched your 100 and something episodes, I'm kidding, after you've already watched your 3 episodes, and then it will just start tripping, just like that. So yeah, you can access all those things. Other things that you can access with the VPN, you can access your Instagram with the VPN, you can access your Facebook with the VPN, and you can access X with the VPN. But then, you know how sometimes, even when you want to load the same VPN, it will trip, maybe it won't turn on. So if it's like really urgent for you to maybe like check a treatment, maybe for you to check for a certain disease, do what, like, guys. And also because of this whole sanction era, or this same VPN era, even if you're looking for videos on Facebook, you have to be using a VPN. You have to use a VPN, because if you don't have a VPN on, certain videos are not going to show. So even if I was to search for something like, maybe I'll be like cholecystitis, I'll access certain videos, but if maybe there's a certain channel that is restricted in my area, I won't be able to view the video. And you know, all of us as a medical student, like there are certain channels that we watch because they are really helpful. I'm not going to give any free advertisements right now, but I'm just saying that there are certain channels that we watch because I mean they help us, like they connect with us because we're all different. Yes, so even that. And if you're a YouTuber and you live in Russia, and you were monetized in Russia, it doesn't work no more. Like you cannot be monetized and you're in Russia. Like you can't get your pay because of the same sanctions. So I have like a lot of things like for sanctions that are literally like really messing a lot of us up. When it comes to receiving money as well, it's also like a whole other struggle, because being here, the international banks don't operate in Russia anymore. So we can't use the SWIFT method. No money in, no money out of Russia using banks. So for us to get money, of course, you need to have connections. You know what I'm saying? You need to have connections. You need to be, you need to be smart. Yeah. The big brands are gone. Like, guys, KFC left, McDonald's left, like Zara left, like Coca-Cola left, like Pepsi. Hey, now if you want to drink some of these things, you have to go to those stores that actually provide the ones from maybe Turkey or Germany and stuff like that. Cerave for my face. There was a time Cerave was even so expensive, like it was triple the price. Because the normal price used to be like 500, 600, it was 3,000, 3K Cerave. Now the one that we're getting is from France, from I think Turkey and Germany. So even just hair products, for you to just get your hair products, I mean, I ganye, shoo, out the window like a bird. They all left. So yeah, I think for me, Mandi, I'm really feeling these sanctions, and I feel like it's getting to my heart. Like, my heart is paining me. My heart is paining me. Like, the sanctions are just really like something that are very annoying. Like, really annoying. Like, everything is gone. Like, all these big people, all these, if you like musheto, like if you like eating swallow sheep like this, swallow. Okay, Monday, let me not say that they are really gone. They just changed their names. KFC, Rostix. McDonald's, of course, Naitochka. Burger King is still Burger King. So yeah, do I think they taste the same? Heck no, they don't taste the same, because now even the ingredients are different. Cinnabon, yeah, okay, Cinnabon is still there as Cinnabon, but Cinnabon tastes different now. It's very, very, very different. So yeah, if you are here and you're just like, you're here and you haven't felt these struggles, then I don't know if we're living in the same Russia. And if you're planning to come to Russia, yes. If you're looking forward to having McDonald's, you're coming to eat, of course, Naitochka. If you're looking forward to having your KFC, but I do think there's KFC in Zambia. I know there's KFC in Zambia. But yeah, the things for me don't taste the same. They absolutely taste very different. KFC chicken just tastes like very, very different for me. It's not like one of those things that I would say, hey, Bati. No. There's no compromise when it comes to food for me. There's no compromise. Clothing also, I want, like I said, like everything is just gone. So we are living, it's livable, it's doable, because Russia is self-sustaining, a very beautiful country. It's a place to be if you love experience and adventure. I would tell you that this would be a place to be, yes. But except the weather though. But well, the weather is there for 6 months. That's a lot though. Yeah, so basically, yeah, right, to summarize this video, and I know that there are so many things that I've left out in this video. So if you have questions, or if you have something to ask me that I have not touched on, please contact me on Instagram at Dr._Melo143, or you can just type Dr. Melo and you're gonna find my Instagram. Oh, and I'm also just going to leave my Instagram handle in the description box below. So if you enjoyed my video, give it a thumbs up for support. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll be back in another video. Bye.